which counties are ending early vote on Friday?
Most of them are.
We can get you a list of the specifics. I know Franklin County, for example, is not open as they should be under the law on Monday. And there are many other counties throughout the state. Some are open, some aren't, and we're concerned about access on these 3 busiest days of early voting.
Were these two decisions of the local county boards with the secretary split? Is that how these decisions were made? You know?
I think that decisions have been made locally by the boards, and the secretary is not intervening, making sure that boards are following the laws across the state.
So if, just because I don't know, hypothetically speaking, if, like say in Franklin County, the 2 Democrats on the board join with the 2 Republicans to close off voting earlier than the Monday before, would you address it? Have you addressed this with the local party members there just to see what their thinking was behind this?
I have not. Each Board of Elections member, regardless of party affiliation, is sworn to uphold the constitutions of the state of Ohio and the United States, as is the Secretary of State. In this instance, regardless of your party affiliation, if you're closing off those final days, you're violating federal court orders as well as the due process and equal protection claims we mentioned. And Joe, for a Secretary of State who has prided himself in this illusion of uniformity, to literally stand by and see haphazardly counties shutting the door to voters, regardless of the race, shutting the door to voters when a federal judge has ordered and appeals that the Secretary of State has filed have been rejected to keep the polls open. And as a plaintiff in that particular case, I'm here today to say, regardless if it's this year, and as Senator Turner mentioned, a township fiscal clerk race could be impacted in Ottawa County, which, by the way, closed this weekend, or the gubernatorial race next year. The precedence this sets and the chilling effect it has, not to mention that we know the history of this Secretary of State. 2 Democrats in Montgomery County who stood up and said, open up the polls, were fired. So regardless of what a local member does or doesn't do, I understand their first thought is, if I cross John Husted, I'm going to get fired by the end of the day.
Are you guys suing on this year?
We're already part of the ongoing litigation in this.
Can you file something if this is such a slam dunk that the Secretary of State isn't following the law? Then we certainly could, and I understand this is death by 1,000 cuts in terms of the cost of litigation. This is no different than passing a third-party exclusionary bill that most legal observers would suggest that the day the governor signs this into law is the day the federal courts will respond and stay the implementation of that law. But those actions cost time and energy and resources, and that's why my friends on the Republican side of the aisle continue to go down this path. And if you don't follow along at the local level, you get fired.